morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, October 17th. It's 10 a.m. agenda meeting. I'd like to give Mr. Beard to say the pledge and Mr. Darrell to say the pledge. Mr. Beard to say the prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in praying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
All right, we'll go on to number 3, the administrative report. Mr. Booyock absent. I think Mr. Darrell is going to take his place today.
That's some big shoes to fill, Mr. DuPont, but I will do my best. But I can tell you, it's going to be a lot less than what y'all usually hear.
You think it'll be a little bit shorter?
It's going to be a little shorter.
I think that'll be a real short.
But he did leave some notes for us, so let me go through them. This past last week at Rockefeller, they had a dedication for the Rockefeller project, and they had a demonstration of the current rock project out there. Ron Booyock was the MC, and he did his usual. He was the life of the party. They did an excellent job. They highlighted 4 projects in Cameron Parish. The most attendees at any dedication program in the history of Equipment. So that was impressive, and that was at Rockefeller. And over 80 people toured the rock project site. They were bringing people out there. So he wanted to let y'all know that was a good event. Cameron Fisheries currently trying to seek a plan of action in writing from Cameron Fisheries regarding the completion and operational timelines. Been dragging out a little too long, so we're gonna see what we can do to get this expedited and completed. So I've requested that from them. October CPRA meeting. I think that's scheduled for October 24th. Coastal Protection Restoration Authority monthly meeting will be hosted by the Cameron Parish at the Cameron Parish School Board Educational Center. Excited at the prospects of highlighting our progress on coastal matters in Cameron Parish, and that is October 24th. And Ryan Booyock is a CPRA board member now. We have been having some discussions on the United States Postal Service on our request for the zip code issues in the Grand Lake area. We have a letter formally submitted to the Postal Service at the request of the jury, and a subsequent survey has been submitted to New Orleans and Lafayette districts, and I got calls yesterday, in fact, that we dealt with, focusing into the right people as far as the actual request. So it is moving forward, and our congressional delegation did get involved and help us with that.
Good.
Chenier, CWIP settlement status. All parties have signed, all documents have been submitted, and the attorneys are finalizing everything to distribute the funds. So that should take place here shortly. So that's the report. And my duties is taking Ryan Booyock's place. Unless y'all have any questions, that's our report.
All right, good job.
All right.
All right, we're going to move on to number 4, Mr. Tony Gury, candidate for 3rd vice of the Police Jury Association.
I just want to say good morning. Thank you all for allowing me to be here. For one, I currently serve as the police juror for Calhoun Parish. This is my 3rd term, and I've served at large on the executive board. I'm running for 3rd vice. With 3rd vice, I'm going to continue to travel out to the state of Louisiana, going to all the meetings and fighting in Baton Rouge for different issues. But along with 3rd vice comes also a major being president one year. I look to take my skills to being president. I served with NACO. NACO this year had 16 chair committees and 8 vice chairs. I served as 2 of the vice chairs. So I worked very hard throughout the whole state and in Washington, D.C. I know y'all meeting is short, but I want to ask you for your support. I'm running for 3rd vice, and I would definitely work just as hard for you all, because I'm your neighbor next door. But I just want to thank you all for giving me that time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob.
All right, we'll go to number 5, Kevin Sidewalk, annual report.
Good morning. Appreciate you all giving us a little bit of your time, and in the spirit of the meeting today, we're going to be brief, just like everyone else. My name's Kevin Sidewell. I'm Sea Grant agent here. I've been here quite a few years, and you all have a copy of our report. We've got the same staff we've had for several years now. We're happy about that. Bradley Pousson, who's our county agent and does the 4-H work, and Brittany Berg, who is our 4-H agent, and we've also got Angel Connor, who is our secretary and administrative assistant. But we just want to thank you for all the support that you give us and all the staff that works with us pretty regularly. I just got a couple of things that I'd like to point out in my report that I'm working on. I've reported to you before about the Salvinia Weevil Research Project for several years now. Last winter we had a couple of days of below 20-degree nights, and we were really scared that not only were we going to lose a lot of Salvinia, which was a good thing, but we were going to lose the weevils as well, because they don't do well in really cold temperatures. But come March, we saw them again, and we found them in the Little Cheniere area, so they're still around. Their numbers were down, but so was the Salvinia. And we had some dry periods during the summer, and we didn't have a lot of Salvinia around. And when we got really wet in September, it blew up and it's everywhere. So the weevils are still there, but they're lagged behind a little bit. So that project is still ongoing, and they actually came over in March and harvested some Salvinia right off Little Cheniere Road and brought back to the nurseries where they had lost theirs. So we had more than the nurseries had for a while. So it's still around, it's an ongoing project, and the researchers sort of telling us whenever we go in and sample, if we get a certain count per pound of Salvinia, they're going to take it down within 60 days or so. And if not, maybe we need to recommend to that landowner that they use herbicide treatment. So we're still working on that, and we're getting some good recommendations for landowners and drainage boards, and everyone deals with that project. The other thing I'm working on with some local folks and the port and wildlife and fisheries is an oyster recovery initiative program. The Nature Conservancy is involved, and we've met a couple of times here in Cameron, and it seems like a really good group of folks, and we're looking at doing some sort of different things for oyster recovery and restoration projects, building coast plants, and possibly even some albino culture. There's a whole process that goes along with that, but it's not too early to start looking into it. But anyway, that's a valuable resource that we have here in this lake, and it needs to be taken care of a little bit. So there's a lot of projects going on, and if you guys see anything in the report you have questions about or suggestions for us, all of our programs are based on local input through advisory committees or the meetings that we go to with local folks or with local government. So we tweak and adjust our programs based on local needs. So any suggestions or anything that you have for us, let us know, and we appreciate all the help again. I'm going to let Bradley tell you a little bit about his program.
Thank y'all again, gentlemen, for y'all's support and for y'all's input as well, because I've visited with y'all quite a few times and have gotten y'all's input on some things that we need to look at before. This year, it was one of those years where we started off wet, then we went dry, and then really cold, dry, and now we're really wet. Some of the things that we saw, especially coming through from the fall into the winter, was we ended up having a hard freeze. Actually, if you count 2, we had snow, and then we ended up having good 3 days of nothing but hard freeze. Well, we were worried about that considering what's the pastures gonna look like, what's our fruit trees are gonna look like, which we've had a lot of citrus damage coming into the spring. But a lot of the trees didn't end up making it. You can see it was kind of interesting, especially coming from the snow, wherever the tree was covered from something higher, pine trees, whatever it may be, half the tree was still good. Like, it was kind of interesting because the temperature was still the same, but you didn't get no freeze damage because the tree was covered. So half the tree was good, the half that was not covered ended up getting a lot of damage, which we found kind of interesting as we coming into spring and going into the summer. The trees that were affected by it. Last year we enacted a mineral tub sale, our Calvin Association. Went good, we're doing it again this year. We got everything sold, so producers are gonna get a discounted tub at a good price, and we're hoping we're gonna continue that in the future. This year we've actually started a Master Gardener program. Calcasieu has been doing one for quite some time. This year, Cameron has their first one. So we have 11 going through the class, and we're hoping a couple of years we're gonna try and do another one. So we're gonna have a good Master Gardening group that's gonna take off. Hopefully do some more parish-wide gardening projects, just with homeowners and the kids as well with the schools. So, y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you, sir.
This is Brittany's turn.
As Kevin said earlier, my name is Brittany Berg, and I'm the 4-H agent here. I'm actually this will be my 5th year that I've been doing the 4-H program here. So we currently have 4-H clubs in all the schools in the parish. Go there once a month and meet with the clubs, put on their club meetings. We have this past year, we actually had a pretty significant increase in enrollment. We were up 51 kids from the year before, making our enrollment 320, which I'm not sure at the moment how many kids we have enrolled in the parish and all the schools, but it's a pretty significant number for where we are, so we're really proud of that. We have a lot of kids involved in different project clubs. The one that I work with the most is our Junior Leader Club. They're a service organization and they do some fundraising as well. We've worked with the Cameron Council on Aging. They've raised money for fundraisers that they've donated to Cannon's Christmas, so they're always willing to work with and give back to the community. So if there's anything that y'all ever need the junior leaders for, we also work with the Cameron Prairie and their family fishing festival and help them with that as well. We have a lot of kids that attend our 4-H University, which was formerly known as Short Course. I don't know if anyone, I know I attended it when I was in 4-H, if any of y'all did. We had 23 kids this summer go to 4-H University. We had a winning team in our agricultural demonstration, and then we had 12 others win blue ribbons as well. So we're really proud of that. We have a lot of participation in our summer camps, and we have a camp coming up, a challenge camp with our Southwest region of the state coming up in November. And I myself was just at a national 4-H agents conference in Columbus, Ohio last week. So we, as well, myself and Bradley, always try to take advantage of opportunities for professional development so we can continue doing our best to serve the kids and the community. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's the oyster status for the season this year? Is there a bid season?
Yes, we're gonna open October 29th.
10
Right.
sacks.
10 sack per day limit.
Are they still dredging or they have to
No.
own them?
No, they started towing last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's still at one time I'd heard that they was at the verge of closing the season down over
Yeah, we had a recommendation a couple of years ago for no season
the.
from the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries based on their stock assessment. And the following year, the stock assessment actually bumped up. And last year we went to towing and it bumped up again. But those big downturns followed our extended drought that we had in 2011 and 12 and even into 13.
So drought is not good?
Drought is terrible for us.
Okay.
Isolanities bring parasites, they bring predators and disease. Moderate salinities are much better.
What kind of effect that dredge is gonna have in the lake? Is that no effect, that dredge project where they pumping out the lake?
has yet to be seen. But there are a lot of other issues in that lake. There's a lot of sediment in the
So
lake.
you would say that rock project from Long Point to Rabbit Isle is gonna significantly?
I think that's gonna be a big boost for oyster production.
Right.
Behind those openings in the lakeside, where we get a lot of water flow, and we reduce those big salinity spikes,
I think it's gonna help, I really feel like it would help the whole lake in itself.
I think so too.
It's just,
If it works the way all the engineers and the modeling shows, it's gotta help.
what's the history too?
Right,
And you go back when the levees were there.
right, at one time, we had a continuous levee there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Kevin.
y'all again.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to number 6, review the agenda.
There will be fine with that folks coming.
Well, the public comment is compliance with open meetings law. Basically just an open period where anybody can comment on any of the items on the agenda.
So that's something that's gonna be.
Yes, sir. Just to respond on the change orders that I verified, those, the additional days were for rain days, looking at the change order in December of last year.
And when?
December of last year, according to the schedule on the,
December of last year,
yes,
for the extra days,
yes.
and we're almost December this year.
Just a matter of just how the project felt, that they just need the additional days.
About 8 months behind.
Well, the estimated completion date was November. November 20. With the additional days, the completion date will be November 27th.
Carrie, item 20 is that public comment period on this, change of the flood damage and prevention ordinance.
That's just on the
This is
RV definition, the RV park definition only.
In Hackberry.
That-
Warren?
Well, this,
No, this is you're gonna have 2 sections of that ordinance being amended. This one today is only dealing with the RV park definition being put into the ordinance. Just defining what an RV park is. That is it.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
on this one,
The Hackberry is November.
Completely different.
Yes.
Because this is just only a definition of it all.
Of the RV park, yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I got a question now. We have the RV needs to be road ready, and are we maintaining that, are we leasing that in any way, shape, or form?
Are we maintaining?
Well, how are we?
Well-
Making sure that people keep them road ready? The reason being is, when the storm came, and people were talking about evacuation,
Yeah.
there were a lot of them in the beach area that were not road ready. And that question was brought up at one of the beach meetings. So I just wondered, is there a ordinance, is there some type of policing process that goes on, or is it not?
No, the only time we really enforce road ready is, I mean, if we physically see that there's no tires on it, it's, you know, that kind of
And what y'all do?
enforcement is being enforced, but,
Y'all send them a letter or something?
yeah. We just actually had to send a few in Holly Beach. that
We don't
had
see
complaints.
a lot of problem in the parks, okay, with those people that are here
Yeah.
working, and so they don't want to move their trailer from time to time. It's those that are kind of separate,
Sit
like
there.
along Holly Beach. I'm not sure how they are in the rest of the parish, but, people, don't move them. They're supposed to, if I remember right, they were supposed to move them every so many months.
180 consecutive
Yeah,
days.
and, so, but without a policing process, that may not be happening.
Right. They're supposed, yeah,
I'd like for to discuss that further.
okay.
I think the last time we discussed all this, I'm Kara, that we was all concerned about who was gonna police it, who was gonna follow through on it.
Right, I mean, you have to physically be at the site to make sure they pull it off and then pull it back on. We don't really have the staff to
Enforcement,
do
so,
that, I mean,
be outside of sending the letter and telling somebody you're out of compliance, you know.
Yeah.
After that, limited what they can make them do without enforcement capabilities.
Any more questions?
Man, Mr. Dupont, just to let you know, we do need to add on 2 items. There would be President authority to sign on behalf of Cameron Fire Protection District Number 1 MOU with Venture Global for funding and emergency operations. It's a funding agreement. And a funding agreement and a memorandum of understanding with Venture Global for Cameron Fire District Number 1.
Okay.
Provide emergency operations and to provide funding for the district. So it's a good thing.
Okay, all right.
And also President authority to sign a memorandum of understanding with Venture Global for emergency operation with Cameron OEP.
All right. That's the add-on?
That's the 2 add-ons.
Does anybody know, is there any word of where they at with their construction date or time or?
Well, I mean, I think it's the first part of 2019, they still need their final EIS, and then their FERC determination. They're anticipating that, but, you know, I think from just what I've heard, January, or the first part of 2009.
Yeah, because the next first meeting and stuff, that's why these plans are important. They need to have these MOUs in place for the next first meeting. And I think it's really gonna be in the spring before construction actually starts.
And that's how, it's in the MOU, there's each, the fund steps there for the Cameron Fire District. There's funding at each step, they get their final EIS, then when they get their FERC determination, then their final investment decision. Each step, they get money according to the MOU, $200,000 to $300,000.
Okay. The corporate endeavor agreement with Cameron Answers.
Yes, sir, and that is with the Venture Global, with the,
Okay.
with their proposed investment with the marina and the restaurant boat launch.
Okay.
And Cameron Answers, with this, Cameron Answers will be the project manager on behalf of us for the construction and then operations afterwards.
Okay, that's fine, that's what.
Funded by
Bob Venture.
Venture with this.
Good deal, that's fine.
All right, any more questions? Everybody good? All right, meeting adjourned.